Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for joining me for our Nimble one-on-one webinar. Today we will be covering contact import and management strategies. My name is Michaela Andradal and I'm Nimble's community manager. Before we get started, I want to spend a few minutes talking about what Nimble is because I saw that there's a lot of you that are completely new to Nimble or maybe haven't even seen it yet and are thinking about using it and figuring out if it's a solution that could help them. So Nimble is an easy to use CRM, customer relationship management tool that works for you in both Office 365, G Suite, and also everywhere else. And what we mean by that is that we understand that most of us already have certain places where we do majority of our work. It's probably the number one is probably our email. So we answer emails and send emails from our inbox. That's where we spend a lot of time. Maybe we also do research and prospecting on different social media sites or websites. And we also probably use other third-party applications. Maybe you use QuickBooks, maybe you use MailChimp and Zero or, you know, any other application that you use to run your business. So because we do realize that most of us spend most of our time in these applications and not necessarily in their CRM, we developed extensions that you can install to your browser as well as into your inbox to make sure that you can always access your CRM data and also create new contact records from the place where you're currently working from. So we have browser extensions for Microsoft Edge, Firefox, Chrome, and we're fixing it for Safari. So it should be available again very soon. What it allows you is to bring it up anywhere you might be working and then simply just hovering over any name anywhere on the internet. Either created a new contact record and add in all the information you might need to add to a contact record straight from where you're working, or hovering over any name or highlighting it if the name is not hyperlinked. And then Nimble will recognize that you already have this person or company in your Nimble database and it will surface the contact record for you. And then you will be able to edit it, create notes, create deals. If you're using custom fields, you can also utilize custom fields. So on top of us allowing you to use Nimble where you're currently working via our extensions, Nimble also combines all your contacts, communication histories, and email inboxes and calendar appointments in one place. So in settings, once you connect your email, calendar, and start importing contacts, we will be creating rich contact records with all this information. So then you can search for a specific contact record, and then you'll see all the history of your interactions and anything that is scheduled to happen and who on your team is responsible for getting it done. Nimble also integrates with social media and with over 160 software as a service applications, and that's what I already kind of mentioned. So you can either bring up the Nimble browser extension if you're using MailChimp or QuickBooks Online, but we also integrate with a company called PySync, and they allow you to sync your data bidirectionally. So if you want always keep your Office 365 contacts and Nimble in sync, or MailChimp contacts in sync with Nimble, you can use PySync to set it up. PySync will give you 14 days to test out the integration for free. During the 14-day trial, you will be able to bring all your data in for free. There's no limit on that. If you, after you go through the trial, so after the 14 days, if you'd like to sync more than 2,000 contacts per month per user, then there would be a charge associated with that. But if you would be syncing less, this would be an amazing way for you to keep your different applications in sync and your data organized. So we'll go back to what PySync is and how it works a little later. Next training webinars. So we do this weekly, and Next week we will do general Nimble overview, and I'll also do mobile overview, and then we alternate. So the week after that, I'll focus on data cleanup strategies. The week after that, we'll do another general Nimble overview, and on May 6th, I'll be focusing on task and activity management. We will be sending reminders to everybody on our email list to join these webinars, but you can also go to nimble.com/company/webinars and sign up for those that you're interested in. So for those of you that are new to Nimble, you probably know that when you log in, you land on our Today page. But in order for the Today page to populate with any data, you first have to connect everything to Nimble. If you're just getting started, you will be guided through an onboarding experience, but then maybe when you log out and come back, you might not have the steps guiding you anymore. So you can always click on the circle in the top right corner and go to networks and import. So here we are in networks and imports. So when you're just getting started, make sure that you connect your email accounts. For those of you that are using Office 365, I have great news. The connection is very, very easy. We have a one-button connector, so you'll be able to connect your emails. What it will do is that we will go 90 days back to sync the email conversations you've had with the people that you are importing into Nimble. So once the email address matches on their contact record and in the email, we will automatically attach it to the contact record. So under interactions and history, you will be always able to see the emails that you have exchanged in the past with this person or this company. So another thing this one button connection will allow you is to import your Outlook contacts, and it will also connect your calendar. So it will also automatically match the history of your appointments with individual contact records, and it will also show you all the future ones. So very easy to do so. For our G Suite Google customers, it's also very easy. You will just have to click twice instead of once. So still not that big of a deal. So you can click here, connect email account, click on Gmail, and you will be able to log in with your Google credentials. For connecting your calendars, you'll click here and connect your Google Calendar. I already have it connected, so that's why the logo is not showing here. And in regards to connecting your contacts, so probably one of the places that you will want to bring in your contacts from will be either your Outlook contacts or your Google contacts. So we already saw when we first connect the Office 365 connection, or if you just connect your Outlook, you will be able to bring all the contacts in. If you would like to keep these two databases in sync, meaning your Outlook contacts and Nimble, you will either have to manually come here and update the connection. We will automatically merge all the duplicates, so you don't have to worry about it. Or you would have to use PySync to set it up. So again, it will be free for up to 2,000 contacts per month per user. If you go over that, there would be a charge associated with that. But if you want to save money, you could just periodically come here and click on update connection, and then the contacts will import into Nimble. So all the new ones that you have added into Outlook will automatically be added to Nimble. You can also do it with your Google contacts. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned today is maybe sitting down before you start importing contacts into Nimble and coming up with a list of all the places from which you would like to import contacts to Nimble. So if one of the places is Outlook or Google Contacts, then especially if you're using Nimble as a team, you might want to figure out some sort of a naming structure, because I would definitely recommend importing tags to any contact info, because then once you are reviewing individual contact records, you will be able to take a look at the individual tags and kind of figure out how the people got there and who imported them. If you have 5 team members that imported their Outlook contacts contacts, and all of them just name the tag Outlook contacts, you have various different tags named similarly, but you will not know who imported them or when. So that's just something to think about. If you'd want to ask your team members to attach their initials or their name, possibly even a date when they updated the connection, that's one way to making sure that you will keep your data organized and the database clean. So that's one place from where you can import contacts into Nimble. Another way, so you can always go to contacts and review all the different places from where you can import contacts. You can use our CSV import. So if you are using spreadsheets in your business, you can easily import them into Nimble. There are two ways to go about this. Either first, you open up your spreadsheet you're using, you open up Nimble, and you will take a look at the fields that, the way we name the fields inside of Nimble, and then match the columns in your spreadsheet to exactly what the fields are called in Nimble. If you do that, upon the import, Nimble will automatically match the fields and it will save you time on matching the individual fields. If you don't want to do that prior, you can also just do it during the import and Nimble will just ask you to select from a drop-down menu of existing fields to pick which one you want the data to go into. So totally up to you. And let me actually show you here how you can create the CSV file or update it if you already have one. So one thing to keep in mind in Nimble is the fact that we will automatically create company and individual contact records. So if you're importing a list of your spreadsheet of your connections, of your customers, or any leads, if there's a company name next to somebody's name, we will automatically create a company record for the company as well. If you also want to, if you want the information to be different on the company contact record and the individual's contact record, you will have to make sure that you put the information on another line here. So in this case, John Ferrara and Nimble, the information here is the same. So the address is the same, but the work email is different. So if I want the information on the company page to reflect this, then I would have to import it as two separate records. For Jack here as well, in his case, there's even more differences. So Jack is working from the United States, but his company is actually based in London in the UK. So we would want to create a contact record for Jack with his individual contact record. I want to see his US office's address, but also I want to make sure that on the actual company's contact record, I will have the contact information for the company and also the address where the company is based. So that's one thing to consider. As you can see, I separated first name and last name, but Nimble will be able to import it into correct fields even if you have first and last name in one column, so you don't have to worry about separating it. In regards to importing tags, as you can see, I created 3 different tags here. So tag number 1, if you want to create multiple tags and make sure that Nimble will tag multiple people at once, you importing people using a CSV file is probably the best way. So you would just create one column, name it tag 1, for instance, and then you would put the name of the tag to each of the people here. If you also want to attach another tag to just certain contacts, you could create another column, name it tag 2, and then put the appropriate tag. These can be existing tags and also completely new ones. So if it doesn't exist in Nimble, Nimble will create it. If it already exists, Nimble will automatically just add to the list. and you can do as many as you want. Same with custom fields. If you create any custom fields in Nimble, you can just name it the same as the field in Nimble, and then fill out the information. After that, you can just download it into a CSV file. Go into Nimble, click on the CSV button, click Upload CSV file, select it, open it. And here's another great option for anybody who might want to continue to use spreadsheets in their daily process and then maybe just import them into Nimble once in a while to update their CRM information. We give you the option to save your mappings. So you could basically save the mappings in the spreadsheet the same way you name the spreadsheet. And then on any future imports, you would just be able to save, pick from the saved mappings and save time on mapping the fields. If you are transitioning to Nimble from another CRM, or if you're importing from LinkedIn, you will be able to go through this list of all the different places that we are already familiar with their mappings. So if you're transitioning to Nimble from base CRM, for instance, and you downloaded your data into CSV file from base, you can select base CRM mapping, click next, and we will help you to map the fields. In this case, I'm just going to do next. And as you can see, all the fields that I name exactly the same way as they are already named in Nimble, Nimble automatically detects it. When I mentioned that if for some reason you have first and last name in one column in your spreadsheet, it really is not a problem. I mentioned that we will give you this little drop down menu and you'll be able to select it and put it in the correct field in Nimble. It looks like it did not recognize street. We also give you the option to add multiple addresses. So if you don't want to have, if there are people working from multiple locations, but the company has headquarters somewhere, you can also tell Nimble how you want to name it. So it could be either Work Street 1, or it could be other. So it depends on the way you want to kind of organize it. So these tags do not exist in my current database. So Nimble just selected single tag and it will upload it for me. We do have an existing field in Nimble that's called lead type, and it already detected it. So I will be able to click next. And here, this is something to always pay attention to. So in order for us to detect duplicates in Nimble, we use unique identifiers. The unique identifier for individual contact record is always the email address. So if you are reimporting people, or if a bunch of your employees have several same people on their list they're importing to Nimble, if they have the same email address, Nimble will automatically merge them into one single contact record. And if they're applying different tags, we will just be adding the tags to their contact record. So as long as the email is the same on individual contact records, we will merge the duplicates by default. If for some reason you would not want to merge on the email address, you can tell Nimble to basically override existing contact fields that you already have on the Nimble contact record with the data you have in a CSV. So if you know that the CSV file is correct, maybe people change companies, now they have different email addresses, they rebranded, or really anything can happen. So you would want to choose this option to make sure that Nimble is really overriding the information with the information you want. And also, as you can see here, you can also leave the default option and merge only on email, or merge on email if available, and first name and last name when there is no match by email. This really depends on kind of in your contact database. If you know that you have a lot of people with the same first and last name, then maybe this could actually cause some problems and messing up your database. If you know that the people in your spreadsheet are unique, then you could also opt for this option. In regards to company records, the unique identifier is the URL. So if you know that the URL is correct, if you want it to always be the identifier, you can continue with the default options. If not, you can also choose this option to merge on name if no match by domain URL or email. If you want to attach a tag or multiple tags to this entire import, you can do so here and just separate the individual tags by commas. And again, you can create new ones, or you can start typing an existing name of a tag, and then Nimble will already identify it and give you like a drop down of existing tags to choose from, so you're sure that you are not duplicating any existing tags. And after that, we're finished. So we can just click finish and actually go back to Nimble. So using the CSV import is another way how you can get your contacts into Nimble. I already touched on LinkedIn. So currently, LinkedIn has their APIs closed, so we are not able to directly integrate with them. We used to be able to at one point, but a few years ago, they made a business decision to close their APIs. So right now, our users can only go on LinkedIn, download their data, and then use the list of their connections to import into Nimble. So the way your connections will download is another CSV file. So then you will just follow the same process that we just covered with regular CSV import. There's also another way that you can use to bring your contacts in. So I would suggest, and again, before you import contacts from any CSV files or your LinkedIn CSV files, I would recommend, if you have the time, of course, to maybe consider opening the CSV file first and then seeing if maybe there are some people that you don't necessarily need in Nimble, because your main goal should always be to only bring in the absolute necessary people into Nimble to make sure that the database stays clean. The cleaner it is, the more likely you and your team will be enjoying using Nimble and sticking with it in the long run. So if you go through it and delete all the people that maybe you added 8 years ago, maybe all the people that switch careers and are no longer people that you need to have in your CRM database, or if you, when you first got on LinkedIn, added a bunch of family members, those would be kind of the contacts that you might consider deleting before importing into Nimble. So I would recommend using this import as like the first bulk import into Nimble. But then depending on how many people you're adding to your LinkedIn network on weekly basis, let's say, you might want to either download the list of connections from LinkedIn periodically, or and then again, we will automatically merge the duplicates, or you can also use our browser extension. So the way the browser extension works is that you can just bring it up here and hover over any name. So let's say I recently added Matt to my Nimble database, and I want to my LinkedIn network, excuse me, and I want to make sure that he's in Nimble as well. I can just hover over him. Nimble will help me build the contact record. So it will actually help me add more information that I might have in my LinkedIn connection download. Because now Nimble detected that Matt is also active on Twitter, and all the information that Matt wrote about himself that's available to us is automatically attached to the contact record. So if I want to add him to Nimble, I can simply click add, can also pick the right profile picture, and I could add any tags. I could qualify him straight from here, could review his smart summary. Once I have his email on there, Nimble will be also showing me all the past and future interactions. I can also add any notes, log any past activity, including custom activities, schedule any future activities. I could also send him a message straight from here, and I could also create a deal. So for those of you that are new to Nimble, I just want to reiterate that this webinar is focusing on data import. So we will be spending most of our time kind of in the setup part of Nimble. If you are interested in our overall demo Nimble overview, I will be doing that next week, next Wednesday, or you can also go on our YouTube channel and you can find recordings of all the few all the ones that I've done in the past. The most recent one will be one from last week. So this is another way how you can make sure that you are getting your LinkedIn connections into Nimble, and you can also do this from any other social site, any website, or any third-party application. So that's LinkedIn. Another way to get your contacts in is our PieSync integration. As I mentioned, they will give you 14 days. During the 14 days, you will be able to get all your contacts in for free. There's no limit. But after the 14 days, you either can use it for free if you sync less than 2,000 contacts per month, or then pay a certain fee and think more. And as you can see, there's a lot of applications that we integrate with using PieSync. So you can go through the list, or you can actually just start typing it here. So if you are using MailChimp, you can click on it here. Nimble will let you sign up for the free 14-day trial of PieSync straight from the app. So you will basically authorize both of the applications to communicate with each other and authorize PieSync to access both of them. And then as you enter both of the applications, there will be an interface popping up, and you'll be able to tell PieSync how you want to set up the integration. The integration works on setting up rules. So if this, then that. So in MailChimp case, you might be able to set up some of these rules that PieSync already showed in the support article. So when contacts are in a certain group in MailChimp, change their contact owner in Nimble. Or when contacts are tagged in MailChimp, have the contacts enriched by Nimble social data. So what this means is that, let's say you have a MailChimp plugin on your blog. People sign up for your blog newsletter, and then you would like to sync the list of all these people into Nimble. What Nimble does for you automatically is that when you open up their contact record, like we already did with Matt on the LinkedIn interface using our browser extension, you saw that it started suggesting all these different social networks that he's also active on. And after I said, yes, this is the correct Matt, Nimble automatically started enriching the contact record with this additional data. We also have access to multiple different databases that we get the data from. So we will automatically enrich the contact records for you, saving you time on data entry. So this is one way how you could get more insights into who the people are that are subscribing to your blog. You could also do some simple rules. Just when people subscribe to your blog, they are created in MailChimp. You could use PieSync to automatically create a contact record for them in Nimble and then attach a tag to them. Or you could also fill out a custom field if you're using custom fields in Nimble. So this is another way how you can get your contacts in. I also want to cover the social network integration as well. So as I mentioned, LinkedIn made a business decision a few years ago to close their APIs. Facebook actually did the same thing. So you are able to connect your personal Facebook to Nimble. You can also connect your Facebook page, but we won't be able to sync any of your interactions with any of your contacts, and you will not even be able to easily import your LinkedIn connection, your Facebook connections to Nimble. So Facebook doesn't allow us to do that anymore. So you can still see some information from your Facebook connections in Nimble, but the integration is very, very limited. So you will be able to actually use the browser extension on Facebook as well. And then you can just hover over any name anywhere. Let's give my internet a second. I can hover over Kelly and Nimble will be able to start creating a contact record for her. So this is how you can get your contacts into Nimble. You can also update the contact record if anything changes, fill out any custom fields you might have in Nimble, and you can also use our enrichment credits to look for the person's contact information. As long as you know first name, last name, and the company they work for, we will be able to find the contact information for them. Let me also go to a contact record in Nimble again that I've been talking so much about. So once we connect everything, once we connect our emails, calendars, once we sync all the contacts from various different places into Nimble, and once we build our Nimble database, we will probably want to start using it and working with the individuals that we created in Nimble. So this is the contact record. You can see the basic information about them on the left side. You can see their contact information, search for it if you don't have it. You can preview all the tags, the lead details. You can also change it. And on the right side, under interactions, you'll be able to see the history of all the interactions. After some time, after you have been in touch with certain individuals for a while, you'll see that this unified tab might become a little overwhelming. So you can also go to the individual ones. So for instance, under activities, you'll be able to select from another drop down and just preview the individual tasks or all the calls that have happened in the past or are scheduled to happen in the future, all the deals that are pending. If you want to see the notes, you can do so here. Recently, we added the option to search notes, so you can also search for specific keywords. You can also see all your messages from your email and also Twitter. Twitter is actually the only social network that we still directly integrate with. So if you're utilizing Twitter in your business, you can easily connect it in networks and imports, and we will match the history of your Twitter interactions with your contact records. You can also review deals, and we have the data fields. So under person info, you'll see the history, their contact information. You can make any changes to anything. And then Nimble gives you the option to create up to 5 custom tabs. So under each tab, you will be able to create as many custom fields as you want. So depending on your business model, if you, for instance, have multiple divisions in your company, you can also create custom tabs for each of the divisions, and each division can have as many custom fields as they want. You can set up the custom fields when you click on the circle in the top right corner here, and then go into settings, data fields, and this is where you can change everything. You can also change the lead information. So you would just go under contact info, click the lead type, and you can completely configure what you want these individual values to be. When you click on the minus button, it will get deleted. If you click plus, Nimble will create a new field. You can simply drag and drop, delete them. Once you're done, you can apply changes. When you want to create a new tab, you would click here, new tab, name the tab, and then you can start defining the individual contact fields. They can either be single line text, multi-line text, it can be a select box, it can also be a separator or an address. And we are also working on redesigning this, so we will also give you date range field very soon. So since today's webinar was focusing on importing contacts and kind of like tips on how to maintain your database clean, I want to make sure that I spend enough time on covering your questions. At the beginning of today's session, I also mentioned that we have a special offer for new users. So if you sign up today, you can get 30 days of Nimble for free. You can click here, nimble.com/offer/webinar30. Megan will also share the link, and we'll also share this link with everybody that attended today. If you are already in trial, please email us at care@nimble.com, and we will give you the 30 days. So let me review the questions. So Richard is asking, will it be possible to make multiple answer checkboxes in a custom field? This is a really good question. I know that custom fields are scheduled to be redesigned, so I will actually have to check on this with the team. So Richard, if you don't mind, please email us at care@nimble.com, and we will make sure to ask the director of product to give you an accurate answer for this. Dennis, any limits to the number of custom fields? So maximum 5 custom tabs, and I believe that the limit on the individual custom fields is 100, if not more. We haven't had anybody running out yet, so hopefully 100 custom fields for each tab will be enough for you as well. Jeff, the pricing plan is on top of the Nimble subscription. Correct. If you would like to sync more than 2,000 contacts per month per user, then yes, there would be a charge associated with using pricing, and that would be on top of the Nimble subscription. You would actually be paying pricing for that, so it wouldn't be included in your Nimble payment. Anjali is asking, when adding a contact manually from Office 365, will Nimble only pick up prior emails from the last 90 days from the inbox? What if I have the prior emails and folders I created in Office 365? Will Nimble pick up those emails? So we will only pick those from the current email. We will only go 90 days back. And if you've exchanged information with, if you've exchanged emails with contacts that had different emails in the past, I believe if you add an additional email address to the contact record, we should sync that as well. But if you don't mind, please email this question to care@nimble.com, and our team will be able to really look into it and investigate, because many times, unfortunately, I don't know all the details, but our team does, and when they don't know, they ask the developers to make sure. So just so we give you an accurate answer, please, if you don't mind, email us at care@nimble.com. Preston is asking, can 2 people pay separately and be a part of the same group in Nimble, or does one person have to pay for all? So the account admin, which is usually the person who created the account, will be the one that will be getting billed. Rob is asking, when you clean up your contacts and delete unnecessary contacts, do they repopulate every time you refresh sync from your Outlook 365? Yes. So if you're talking just about cleaning up contacts in Nimble and not cleaning up them in Outlook, then they would repopulate. Yes. Anthony is asking, is there 2,000 new contacts per month? Yes, that would be 2,000 new that would be, no, it would be 2,000 total per month. So he's asking about the PySync integration. Mark, Facebook will still share cellular information though. Well, that's definitely a current topic that we are all aware about, unfortunately. Doug, when you search for contact information, will it find their emails? It should, yes. Please, if you run into any issues, let us know at karenimble.com. Matt is asking, please discuss pricing. Great question, Matt. So Nimble currently comes in only one plan. It's called Nimble Business. It's $25 per month per user if you pay monthly. If you pay annually, it goes down to $19 per month per user. And then, of course, if you want to use any add-ons, like a group message upgrades, or if you want to use PySync, or if you would like to use our contact enrichment feature, then the pricing would increase, but this is our basic pricing. Mark is asking, I have 75,000 contacts and 20 years history in Goldmine. I need to know how much of the data can import into Nimble. Okay, no need to answer here. Mark, please email us at care@nimble.com. As you probably know, John Ferrara, our founder, is also the founder of Goldmine. So please let us know at care@nimble.com, and we will give you as much information as we can. Joel's asking, what is better, to email contacts from Nimble or from Office 365? Because when they write back, I usually check my Office 365. So going back and forth on checking emails between Office 365 and Nimble can be confusing. And when is the contact dashboard be redesigned? Okay, so once you connect your Office 365 Outlook to Nimble, it doesn't matter from where you email your contacts, because we'll automatically be grabbing all the future interactions and attaching them to the contact records. So the only advantage, I would say, emailing from Nimble would be the fact that you can actually track the emails. So if I'm emailing John from Nimble, I can also use templates, and I can also track it. So then when I go on Today page, I can see how people are interacting with my emails. For our Outlook users, we don't have this built into Outlook yet. So this would be the only advantage for you to be emailing people from inside of your Outlook. But then when you're checking and responding to your emails, it doesn't matter. I would just continue to do it in the place where you're most comfortable in, because once you have already connected Outlook to Nimble, all the emails will be automatically synced under interactions, under messages. So you can just continue to read them and answer them inside of Outlook. And the contact dashboard will be redesigned this year. I don't have the exact ETA, but our team is currently working on it. I don't know exactly what stage it is in right now, but it's coming soon. I don't see any more questions. Oh my gosh. So Mark saying he met John and Ilan, Goldmine's co-founder in the 90s at Tech Teach. And he wrote the Ori template for Goldmine. This is amazing. I'll have to tell John after today's webinar. This is great. So please, Mark, email us, and we'll do whatever we can to help you migrate. I don't see anything else. Or, yep, more questions coming in. Dex asking, when you do it from Outlook, is it still showing interactions with the emails? Yes. So once you connect your Outlook to Nimble, it doesn't matter if you're emailing people from inside of Nimble or from your Outlook. It will always stay here. You will see it in your sent folder in Outlook and also here in your messages. So you'll see the history of interactions always on the contact record. Let me see if there is anything else. uh, Ned saying, your Nimble Today page says you have 8 tasks overdue. What's your problem? Get with it. Well, so this is my test database. I mostly use it for demonstrations and webinars. Um, but yes, I should probably update some of these so I don't have all of them overdue. Thanks, Matt. um, all right, so I don't see any more questions coming in. I would like to apologize for all the disruptions. I know there was a lot of people that for some reason had problems with our audio, so I'll contact GoToWebinar after today's session to find out what happened exactly. Hopefully the recording will be okay. Please check your inbox. We'll send you a link to the recording. We'll send links to our website where you can sign up for our future training webinars. At the end of today's webinar, there will be a survey popping up. If you have any feedback, suggestions, please let me know. And I would like to thank you for spending an hour with me today. And if you have any questions, please let us know at care@nimble.com. And we will make sure to answer any questions you might have. Thank you so much and have a great day.